Amazing! And I'm not filming in time-lapse. Hi! Welcome to the first week in my April reading vlog. Far out, time flies, it's already April, this is pretty scary. I'm just gonna pop my TBR up here. I made a mistake in my previous video, as I always do when I'm talking about my TBRs. The book of the month for the Novelty Book Club is not Breakfast at Tiffany's. The book is supposed to be The Man Who Was Thursday, which is actually a mystery novel. So there's that, and as usual my spoiler warning still stands. If I'm holding up a book and talking about it, there is a chance that I will talk about spoilery things for that book. There's also a chance that I won't, but just a little warning, if you see me holding up that book, maybe skip ahead if you don't want spoilers. Otherwise, feel free to watch and take the risk, you know, if you're a gambler. Sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit, you know? And yeah, onwards. I'm a couple of days late filming this particular reading vlog because until yesterday, I actually hadn't read anything for the month of April at all. If you watched my week 1 novel life project vlog, you will know that I spent Easter at home with my family, which is about 5 hours drive away from here. And when I left to go home for Easter, it was the 28th of March or whatever, and I'd only just finished reading The Name of the Wind, and I was in that slumpy kind of stage where I just didn't know what I felt like reading next. And so because of that, I didn't actually take any books home with me for Easter because I was like, I don't know what to read, I'm just gonna go. That turned out to be a mistake because I ended up being home for quite a while. I stayed there for several days longer than I thought I would, and about halfway through the time that I was there, I was like, okay, I'm ready to read now. But I didn't have anything to read. And then I got back on like Thursday. It's Monday now. Is it Monday? Or is it Tuesday? I don't know what day it is anymore. I think it's Monday. No, it's Tuesday. But now I have done some reading. I did some reading yesterday. So I finally started reading A Darker Shade of Magic. So I finished the first 2 chaptery things. It's a bit weird because there's like chapters and then there's mini chapters. I don't really know how to explain it. There's these chapters, but then like within those chapters, there's like mini chapters as well. And I didn't know that. And so because of that, when I was choosing the tasks for us to do for this book, I chose them to be every second chapter because I thought that every chapter would be too soon. But then it turned out that the chapters were actually quite long and split into mini chapters. So we probably should have done something every chapter. Sorry about that. Next time I'll make sure I actually look at the book before I pick the task and the frequency of the tasks, but I didn't own it at the time, so that was a bit of a muck up and I'm sorry. Anyway, so I'm 2 large chapters in, I don't know what to call them, and I'm really loving it. The world building is really fascinating. Everyone knows that I am obsessed with anything to do with fantasy England and fantasy London. It's just a product of my childhood and my nostalgia. I'm sorry about that. And this is 3 fantasy Londons, so I'm really excited about that. The character writing is also really good. Even the side character of the King of Grey London, he was only there for like 3 paragraphs and I was just, my heartstrings were torn. Yeah, the character writing and the world building are both really good. I also, for the novel life project, started reading The Singer of All Songs, which you'll also know if you've watched any of my novel life vlogs because I've probably talked about that. This is a book that I really loved as a child, one of my childhood favourite series. Sorry about the glow. I just realised that I left my bedroom light on, which I don't normally do when I film because it creates this weird light quality, so now it's changed. Also, I'm holding the book backwards. Very professional. It's just good memories. This is a book that I really, really loved as a kid and as a teenager, and I had to wait like 10 years for the final book in the trilogy to come out. And just the memories of that. This is like my first ever experience shipping a couple, really, really being invested in a couple's relationship as a young teenager. So I'm really excited to reread it and delve into those relationships again. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be a little fangirl. And yeah, that is the end of week 1 of the reading updates. It's pretty small because of the fact that I didn't do much reading, but such is life. So now I'm gonna hand you on over to future me. Ta-da! If I look like a wreck, it is because I am filming this after I filmed my cozy chat vlog that turned into a cry fest, and have tried to redo my makeup, but I probably still look like a mess. Amazing! Anyway, hi, I am Future Jazz from the April reading vlog. As you will be able to tell, this is a very short reading vlog because I am already in week 4 and haven't filmed any updates since the first week of the reading vlog. So the main book that I have been slowly but surely reading through for this month is A Darker Shade of Magic, as you will know. This is the book that was chosen by you guys for the novel read-along, which was the fun little read-along idea that I had, which has been fun. I have really enjoyed it, and I would like to do more of these. So if you're interested in me doing another one of these novel read-alongs at some point in the future, you should totally let me know down in the comments. The book itself, though, hasn't been as fun as the read-along has been, and for a while I thought that I wasn't feeling it just because of like my reading slump kind of feelings, but then I realized that it wasn't, and I'll tell you why. So the reason why I realized that it wasn't entirely just me not being quite in the right mood for this book is when I realized that I hadn't updated Goodreads to say that I was currently reading this book, and I was like, well, I'll go ahead and do that then. So I added it, and I added in my page number, and Goodreads was like, hey, you're at 53%. And I was like, wait, what? And that genuinely shocked me because I felt like I was still in the setup, and I didn't feel like I should be at a point that is already over halfway through the book. I felt like maybe I was at a point that should be only like 2 or 3 chapters in, and there's bits and pieces that happen that are quite exciting and that end up getting the pacing up a little bit more, but it still kind of felt like the story hadn't really begun. At the point that I updated Goodreads was genuinely the point where they finally were like, okay, we're gonna go on this journey to return this magic rock back to the doomed London. That was when the journey began, and it was over halfway through when they finally had got to the point where they were like, this is what the story is actually about. It's about trying to return the rock. Other than that, in between reading this book, I have also read all 3 of these books. As usual with rereading books that you loved as a child, adult me was picking up on some things that were like, this isn't actually the best writing. The villain doesn't really make sense. He doesn't seem to have any motives whatsoever, and he doesn't even seem like that bad a guy. But it was nice, and it was nostalgic, and I read them all in about like 2 days. But that's actually all that I have finished, is those 3 books this month, and then obviously the hopefully we'll finish that other book as well. I can't remember what else I said I was going to read this month. I think I said I was going to read Alias Grace, and I didn't get onto that. Then I also said that I was listening to the audiobook of Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, and I have listened to it in bits and pieces, but normally I listen to audiobooks while I'm doing stuff, and I haven't really had the motivation to do much work on noveltico things, so I haven't done much listening to audiobooks in general. And that's it for my reading vlog for this particular month, which is really sad. It's actually the 1st of May now, but I finished A Darker Shade of Magic last night, so I did manage to finish it just in time to say that I'd finished it for my April TBR, and I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was great. Eventually it picked up towards the end, and I read like the last quarter or the last third of it really quickly because the pace finally picked up, but I just felt like it spent so long being really slow, especially given that the time period that it covers is 2 days tops. It probably didn't need to feel that slow and dragging in pace. And then the ending was a bit so I'm gonna do maybe a spoilery review of that, and definitely a spoiler-free review of that, so keep an eye out for them, and I'll try and explain how I'm feeling about it better then. Just popping in here really quickly to say that I've decided to upload my TBR in a different video because this video was getting really long, and I didn't think it was fair to make you guys watch 10 minutes worth of video just to find out what books I am reading for the month of May. Let me know what books you read down below in the comments for the month of April. Also let me know if you joined in on the novel read along, or if you'd be interested in doing another one at some point in the future, because it'd be nice to get an idea of whether or not people liked it or people want me to try and do it again. I will see you on some other video very shortly, I'm sure, and until then, as always, stay classic.
Sit there and count your little fingers. Unhappy little girl blue.